Rockeyez would like to welcome Steve Zetro Souza of the new band Hatriot. Hey, man, what's up?
What's happening? How you doing today?
Very good, very good. Tell me a little bit about the new band.
New band. Old singer with new kids, basically. No, actually, just felt, it's in my blood, man. I needed a full, normal project to do. I do Dublin Death Patrol. I did Tenet. I do these kind of side projects every once in a while. But this is my new band, actually, with, probably the most solidest lineup of players I've ever had. They're all youngsters. Nobody older 22. I got one that's 18. My son is he's the bass player. He's 21. The main guitar player, Costa V, him and I write all the songs. He's 22. Miguel's 19, and Alex is 18. These guys are hot, and the next generation of thrash, I must say.
Wow. So what happens when your son fucks up?
It turns into a dad-son war that said the other three don't get involved because he tends to get excited on some things, and I have to calm him down sometimes. And it's not like the other guys are a little bit more respectful in that resort, and he doesn't. But actually, they're all really very smart. They know what it takes when we get into the rehearse and to write songs. And so I really don't have that much of that element at all.
Cool. Well, I heard a couple of new tracks. Actually, like 6 songs already from the band. And, they're really hardcore. I like them a lot. I photographed you back in the day because I worked for a magazine called Metal Forces. And
I love Metal Forces.
Yeah, so I photographed you, I think, at the Chance of Poughkeepsie. And, the songs I listened to, The Fear Within, and Weapons of Class Destruction, My Darkest Passenger, Bloodstained Wings, all are very heavy hitters. Nothing light, maybe heaviest that you ever did.
I think so. I think I would say, people ask me what I think. I think cross between Legacy and Exodus. If you were to really listen to it, I think a lot of the riff, the fingering is very old school Legacy, and a lot of the changes are very Exodus. So I think that's what I didn't stray away necessarily from the formula, not to use a cliche, but I just kind of, I could have found any metal guitar player to write songs and write with, but this kid Costa writes what I can write to, like Eric Peterson did, like Gary Holt did. So that's why, for me, it's really easy to write lyrics. We come up with songs really quickly, and it's just clicking really well. So, I mean, there's like 4 other songs you haven't heard: Murder American Style, Suicide Run. We got a bunch of killer stuff coming out, all very aggressive, real heavy subjects. It's like I have not lightened up as I've gotten older. That's true.
Cool. Now, is there any label interest in these days with bands
like that?
Yeah,
definitely. Definitely. There's label interest right now. We're talking to a few right now. I don't know who we're going to go with, but I plan. Honestly, I'm being signed in the next month, so you'll probably see a Blabbermouth thing out when we finally do it. We actually, I can't say who now because if something happens, I don't want to be, sound on my part or on their part, but I mean, we're deep in the one with a really good metal label. And so we know that we want to put a record out. I want to record an album this summer, and I want a record out by late fall, if possible. If not, early 2013 at the latest. So I'm definitely, this thing is straight on. I've got guys shopping it all over the world right now. You got a lot of, like Chuck. Chuck's helping me out doing publicity and stuff like that. So I'm really trying to send the word right now that I'm ready to go. So I'm sure something's going to happen pretty quick. The stuff's strong. I'm very proud of it. It's very strong. All the material. I don't think I've written any filler songs for this band so far. I think they're all very strong songs. Cool. So, and that's our goal.
Cool. Now, you feel Exodus was one of the leading bands back in the day, that brought thrash to the forefront?
They invented thrash. Gary Holt invented thrash. If you really want to come down to it, Metallica came up from L.A. and saw Exodus do it. You know what I mean? Tom Hunting was the one that invented. He's the one who came up with that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, I have to give Exodus the nod. They never got the success of, say, Metallica, Slayer, the big 4, for that matter of fact. But they should have been one of the big four.
Right.
It's great to see Gary he got the spot filling in for Jeff Hanneman with Slayer just recently, and well-deservedly so. I spoke to him last Sunday, and it's just, I said, you deserved it. You invented thrash metal, for Christ's sake. You should get the nod. If there's a statue, it should be him. Between him and Mustaine, I'd have to give it the nod to him, Mustaine, Tom, James. Yeah, I'd have to give those guys. Tom Araya, I'd have to give those guys the nods for the inventors of thrash metal, definitely.
Cool. Are you happy the way your career, unfolded?
There was a point in time where I was disappointed, but if you're to look back, and somebody explained this to me really well, is that he plays bass for Robin Trower. He used to play a band called Gamma with Ronnie Montrose. His name's Glenn Letch, and he explained it to me quite well. He goes, you go from being a rock star to a has-been to a legend. And I go, yeah, exactly, because that happened to me. I mean, when the Seattle sound came in the mid to late 90s, I couldn't get a game of jacks. Nobody wanted to hear from me. Could care less if I started a new band, and then as it's 20 years later and thrash is so looked on as the focal point of all types of metal now. I mean, think about it. Everybody uses that beat and the double picking back and forth. Even black metal, death metal, progressive metal, the bands like Hammerfall, bands like that, everybody uses it. So it seems to be what keeps it alive today.
Wow. So, say you were in high school. What were you listening to back then?
Okay, in high school, you got to remember, I started high school in '78.
Okay.
That's my first year in high school. So, Double Life Gonzo had just come out. I listened to Black Sabbath. Well, actually, Technical Ecstasy came out later that year. I listened to AC/DC. I listened to Led Zeppelin, Rainbow, anything that was the heaviest stuff of the time. UFO, Molly Hatchet. I've been listening to a ton of Molly Hatchet lately. I just love that shit. So, and then as soon as I got turned to about 1980, I started hearing bands like Saxon and Maiden and Riot. And I remember going to see the Scorpions with Ted Nugent at the Cow Palace in 1980. It was Love Drive Tour for Scorpions and Scream Dream Tour for Ted Nugent. And I just remember that anything that was rocking the most extreme rock, I followed it. I even got into punk for a few years just to go to the shows just because it was just so raw. I'd go to a Dead Kennedy shows, and those guys hated me because I had long hair, and they hated, but they thought you were a hippie, and even though I was a metalhead, and they always tried to push me around, but I just loved the music. It was so raw. Cool. So anything that was aggressive, anything like that.
Cool. So what are your hopes for this band?
World domination. I plan to put myself back where I was initially. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. I hope that the success reaches higher than the success I did reach with Exodus. You know what I mean? I hope that the kids, being a new generation of kids and musicians coming up, that it just kind of follows suit with that. And so hopefully everybody will welcome me in like they did so well with, when I played in Legacy and in Exodus. The fans have always been really, really cool and really good and always been behind me for the most part. There's always haters, but there's more lovers than haters, and I have to appreciate all the fans that have followed me. Like anybody comes up and asks an autograph or a picture or something, man, I'm right there. That's what it's all about, them and us. There's no me without them, my friend.
Cool. Do you get ever tired of people comparing you to Bon Scott?
No, that's a compliment. I play I have my own tribute band.
Cool.
I do an AC/DC tribute called AC/DC, and I only do Bon Scott era. Cool. And I love it. That's the best compliment you could say is, man, you sound like Bon Scott. Hopefully, if Brian Johnson ever gets too old, AC/DC will realize that, and I can get that gig.
Wow. Well, I
figure I'm young. I'm 48. Those guys have got to be in their 50s, early 60s. He's got to be in his mid-60s. So, at what point could you still be doing? I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows? Well,
I'm ready. I know all the words, so I'm ready. So.
Cool. Well, I congratulate you on this new release coming up. The songs are amazing. I'm happy with them.
Thank you.
You know, it brings me back to the time when I was young and they had great music back then. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You have any parting words?
Yeah, man, just keep, for all my metalheads, friends, and yourself, man, just stay heavy and stay true. We ain't going anywhere. I turned 48 a couple of weeks ago. I'm still making the heaviest metal possible,
Great, man. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.